Hi, I'm Gábor Nagy, Head of Product and Marketing. Welcome to learn about our products.
In this talk, I'm going to introduce the OD-Tools Motivation Questionnaire. MQ is used to create individual motivation profiles. It consists of 126 Likert type items and it measures 34 skills. It provides a very comprehensive information about what motivates people. It measures both the needs and satisfaction levels of the most fundamental and universal 15 employee needs. And except for the individual motivation profiles, MQ also provides group reports to analyze the needs and satisfaction levels of groups or employee segments. Here you can see a sample interface of MQ. And as you can see, it is optimized for both mobile and PC devices. I'd like to introduce a few concepts and the importance of the motivational profiles that MQ creates. So first, let's start with what is motivation? And a simple answer is motivation is the fuel of action. Motivation are mental forces that drive us to do something, and MQ is measuring motivation at work. So the definition of motivation here is mental forces that drive us to do our job, to perform our tasks. And motivation works a little bit just like fuel with an engine. If you have more fuel, then you will have higher power, more horsepower. And similarly, if everything else is the same, when you have more motivation, then you will have higher performance. An important feature of motivation that it works in cycles. So if you have higher motivation at work, then you will perform your tasks better, you will attain more success, you will create more value, and the company can provide you more rewards, and you will feel also more intrinsic satisfaction, more feeling of achievement, which leads to higher satisfaction, which turns into higher motivation. So there is a positive cycle, and there can be also a negative cycle. So it is so important that we keep ourselves in this positive cycle, and as an organization we create the environment where we can keep our people in a positive cycle. MQ helps to keep people in a positive motivation cycle by providing data to answer questions like what motivates this person? How sustainable is that motivation? What demotivates currently? What frustrates, disengages the person? How could be the person motivated again? How could be the person retained? How could the job satisfaction be increased so in turn we have more retention and engagement? MQ measures 15 needs, and these 15 needs were designed to be able to map all typical universal needs of employees at work. We developed MQ starting from 2003, and we made a very thorough literature review. We reviewed all academic literature to see what are the motivational factors that are identified by academic research. And we also did a review of HR. What are the employee needs from the viewpoint of HR? And what are the employee needs from the viewpoint of a manager? And we created a language with these 15 needs that can describe the building blocks of employee motivation. Here you see the 15 needs with their definitions. And you may say, hey, wait a minute, but what about needs like, for example, promotion? Isn't the need for promotion an important employee needs at work? Yes, it is. However, it is not part of the 15 needs because it is a complex need, and we have the building blocks, the ingredients of these complex needs. So for example, promotion most typically can be related to material needs to earn more recognition, to gain more status from boss and peers, and power to have the formal authority to make decisions, to call the shots. And therefore, need for promotion is not included into the 15 needs. Or another example could be responsibility. And the need for responsibility, using our 15 needs, can be explained with need for recognition, need for status, need for autonomy, need for challenge, achievement, and learning. And for different people, their need for responsibility may have different sources. Maybe a couple of needs are dominating and other needs are less prominent. So our 15 needs, these basic building blocks, not only make these complex needs like promotional responsibility not necessary to include as a separate skill, but actually they can explain better. They can look at these complex needs in higher resolution. So you get a more accurate profile and you can make more effective, better targeted interventions. And except for the 15 needs, we are also measuring for special skills output of energy, which means what degree of one's time and energy is utilized, is consumed by work. A high output energy score means somebody is really tired, like 9-10 means the person is overwhelmed. And the low score of output of energy doesn't mean the person is lazy or not working enough. It just means that the person is not overwhelmed. Output of ability measures to what degree one's capabilities and potential is utilized by the current job. Here, a high score is good news. It means that the person can utilize his potential well in the job. And the low score would be more like a question mark. What can we do to provide more challenges or different kind of opportunities and challenges to the person so we can utilize the person's capabilities and potential better? Our positivity scale measures the degree of one's goals, hope, energy, and emotional resilience. In psychology, it is called positive affectivity. And the scale of perceived control measures the degree of the feeling of control over the direction, events, and outcomes of one's life. In psychology, this scale is referred to as locus of control. And the 4 special scales and the needs and satisfaction levels of the 15 needs provide comprehensive information about what drives people. What is their current situation about their motivation? And what can their manager, their supervisor do to motivate them better? And what can the organization do to retain and motivate them better? Because the 15 needs are comprehensive, no surprise that with 15 needs we can map all major motivational theories. So for example, intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. These are very useful categories. With our 15 needs, we can give content to these categories. We can fill it up with life. And with MQ, we can measure the degree of intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. The 15 needs map nicely into Maslow's hierarchy. We didn't include Maslow's physiological needs level, because that is on one hand quite obvious. On the other hand, our survey is mostly used by white-collar workers in an office environment, where physiological needs are less pronounced and actually they can fall into the work-life balance. But we have material needs and needs for job security that maps into Maslow's safety. Need for harmony and recognition maps to Maslow's love and belonging level. We have the need for status, need for power, need for a nice environment, need for work-life balance that map into Maslow's esteem needs. And our intrinsic needs map nicely into Maslow's self-actualization needs. So we have autonomy, joy of work, need for challenge, need for achievement, need for learning, need for excellence, and need for mission. And we can use the 15 needs to map Herzberg's hygiene factors and motivators. Or we can also use MQ to measure the needs that Daniel Pink talks about. Our mission is exactly the same as Dan Pink's purpose. Dan Pink's mastery is the same as the combination of our excellence and learning. And both Dan Pink and MQ has the need for autonomy. So as you can see from these examples, our 15 needs can map into all major motivational theories. And it can integrate these theories, and through these 15 needs, because it's quite comprehensive and creates a universal language to describe employee needs, you can realize that these different theories of human needs and employee needs are actually very similar. They just use different language because they were created at different times by different people. Some of them are more comprehensive, some of them are less, but basically they are talking about the same human experience. And just as the magical ring in a fairy tale, one ring to rule them all, MQ, one model, because it's comprehensive, because it has the basic building blocks of needs, can map all the other theories. I'd like to introduce the main MQ report. So on the left here you see the motivation profile. The 15 needs are arranged according to Maslow's hierarchy. And on the right you see the exactly same information but arranged according to the extrinsic needs, intrinsic needs model. And what lovely about this is when managers, they read their own report with some curiosity because they answered the questions and everybody is curious to see their own report. So as they read their report, they absorb these models. They learn these models. Finally, these models have meaning and makes sense to them. So MQ helps people to learn about motivation very effectively. The other lovely feature of both Maslow and the extrinsic-intrinsic needs theory that it is an invitation towards the higher level of needs. Both of these models are inspiring, and many people, when they learn about the intrinsic needs and the self-actualization needs, they feel that, yeah, there's something that resonates in people. This material gives some sparks to the soul. It can wake up some hidden resources and ignite these rocket boosters, these very potent motivational sources, the intrinsic needs. Many of our users said that finally, after seeing this report, they understand the extrinsic needs and intrinsic needs concept. They finally got it and they know how to implement them in their lives. And MQ can help managers, leaders a great deal to implement motivational skills, motivational tools in their work. The MQ report includes 2 sections for the special skills, utilization report about the energy and ability output, and positivity report section about positivity and perceived control. And these reports have the definitions and also questions and suggestions to help the implementation of these concepts. The motivation tangents report on the left shows the 15 needs in the order of the strength of the need. The most dominant, the most pronounced needs are on the top. And next to each need, you see the satisfaction. And this report helps to see the contrast, to see the areas where the need is higher than satisfaction, and these are the areas of motivation tangents. These gaps between need and satisfaction can lead people to feel frustrated and lose their motivation and get into a negative cycle. And here are also the opportunities for increasing self-motivation by turning the tension into energy and action. These gaps are the areas where the most energy is located, which can provide the most drive for performance. And also these are the opportunities for the organization by showing the way through performance to get to higher satisfaction levels, by enabling people to close the gap. Organizations can retain their people and they can bring them to the positive cycle. So both sides, employees and the organization, can experience higher results and more win-win. And on the right, there is a healthy motivation management report that helps people to reflect about their needs and motivation and adjust their motivation mix in a way that is more healthy and more sustainable. The 17 years of developing and using MQ provided thousands of data sets and led us into some interesting insights. MQ went through many iterative versions. It is getting more efficient and more accurate with every new iteration. And the major findings are very consistent with every dataset. So this is the latest version, the latest dataset. And this table is a summary of the 15 needs where we correlated the needs scores with the satisfaction scores related to that need. And the number below the 15 needs show the correlation between that need and the relevant satisfaction. A positive number and higher number means that the need is sustainable. The higher level need goes hand in hand with higher level of satisfaction, and vice versa. Higher satisfaction is moving together with higher needs. And a negative number, a lower number, means opposite direction. So the more is the need, it comes with less satisfaction, or less is the satisfaction, higher is the need. But when the satisfaction is higher, the need diminishes. In other words, these needs are less sustainable. Correlation numbers are numbers between -1 and +1, where 0 means no correlation, no systematic relationship at all, and anything over 0.3 in social sciences considered as significant relationship, or anything below -0.3 considered a significant negative relationship. So as we can see, the need for materials, the need for material reward is a non-sustainable need, which means that providing more material can have only a limited effect, limited by time or to a certain degree. The result of many other studies is very consistent about how money functions as a motivator. So money is important until you reach a certain level, and then it has less and less motivational effect. And beyond a certain point, money is important more like a measure of success, a measure of achievement, a measure of status in one's life, and a measure of status in society, and less about the utility of money as such. And you can see the need for harmony with 0.43, that it's very clearly a sustainable motivation. So more people are paying attention, more they are aware of teamwork, of a good team, a good atmosphere, work atmosphere. The more they experience what a good team means, the more they become motivated by this need. And then we see that the need for power is also somewhat sustainable. So more power people have, more they want. And the most sustainable need is joy. So the more somebody can tune into the frequency of joy at work, to enjoy more the process of work and to enjoy more the work with others together, the more somebody experiences this, the more motivation the person gets from this experience. The positive cycle with joy works greatly. And we see that this positive cycle is close to 0.3 with challenge, achievement, learning, with these intrinsic needs, and also with mission. And this knowledge may able to guide you to be a better leader of people, to focus on how you can ignite these sustainable motivation sources, and may also help your HR department to see where they can focus their effort to improve company culture. Another similar result of our research is identifying the drivers of employee satisfaction. So what we did here is, first we calculated a total satisfaction score for everybody who filled in MQ. In the previous slide, we were looking at satisfaction for each need. Here we add all satisfaction scores together, we sum them up to calculate a total employee satisfaction score, and we see how this total score of satisfaction correlate with needs. What are the needs that, if you look at them as values or behaviors, what are those values and behaviors that lead to the highest degree of satisfaction? And here we see the correlation figures. So the same thing from -1 to +1. 0 is no systematic relationship. Below -0.3 is significant negative relationship. Above 0.3 is significant positive relationship. And here we can see that money doesn't buy satisfaction in the long term. The need for harmony, belonging to a team and having a great team experience is a significant contributor to total satisfaction. The need for joy and the need for achievement are also all significant contributors. And here we also included the 4 special skills. And that result is very significant. Look, positivity and perceived control, they are the most significant contributors to employee satisfaction. In other words, positivity and perceived control are very important building blocks of a healthy employee psychology. Companies should hire for these attributes and should foster a culture where these attributes are flourishing. This slide is for the advanced learner. This shows the structure of the MQ skills, the relationships of these skills based on their mutual correlations. So starting from the bottom up, you can see that the needs for materials and need for job security are somewhat similar. They belong to one family, and this kind of confirmation of the Maslow hierarchy. On the left, you see the need for harmony and recognition. These are the social love and belonging needs. They are also connected. Another confirmation for Maslow. And then recognition and material are somewhat linked to status. That makes sense. Status is very strongly correlating with the need for power. These two are also linked. And then you see a big block of the intrinsic motivations, the sustainable motivations. And you find positivity and perceived control also very strongly integrated in this group. And that's why Damping is so excited about intrinsic motivation. We should be very excited about intrinsic motivation, because absolutely they contribute the most, or they have the most potential to contribute to employee satisfaction and organizational results. So how does intrinsic motivation work? What does intrinsic motivation bring? The joy of work can bring creativity and energy. The need for challenge as a value will bring to people more courage. They will take more initiative and they will experience more growth. The need for learning and excellence will translate into more knowledge, higher level of skills. The higher achievement drive will show in behaviors of persistence to pursue success. And the need for mission, or let's use the currently popular word purpose, will result in supporters more passion and more fulfillment. So in summary, we can say that intrinsic motivation is a key to what many people call passion. They are the sustainable sources of high level of motivation, and they are the most important fuels of success and achievement. I highly recommend to look into Dan Pink, his book and his speeches about intrinsic motivation. And here I want to mention another less known source coming from the academic research. I cannot pronounce the name, but the research is very significant. She was observing employees in many different positions, employees in hotel chains. She was looking into what motivates people and how they see, how they perceive work. And she summarized 3 major themes, or we can also say 3 personas where most people fit. So there's a group of employees whose motivation is job security, money, getting recognition, and feeling good with their teams. They see work as a list of tasks to do, very often a never-ending list of tasks. And what they look for, finishing work, weekend, and payday. And Wrzesniewski summarized that these people see work as a job. And there are people who see their work as career, and their motivation is the need for status, for power, for the high salary and bonus, and for the nice environment. And work is for them a competition, a race. And they are looking for the bonus, the promotion. And then there's a group of employees who see work as self-actualization. And this is very significant because these people not necessarily at the top of the hierarchy. It can be a cleaner in a hotel, a hairdresser, a cook, it doesn't matter. But for these people, the most important motivation is joy of work, challenge, learning, excellence, and mission. The work is an important part of their life. It is very important for them as people to be meaningful. Work is part of their purpose. And they find work interesting and fun. They enjoy their work and they're looking for new projects, new challenges, new clients. And what do you think? Which group of people has the highest job satisfaction? Yes, that's right, self-actualization. And which group of employees are the best performers? Being the most appreciated by their environment, being the most successful in their position? Yes, again, self-actualization. And this study highlights the win-win that can be created by more intrinsic motivation. And MQ can be a tool that helps your organization towards a culture which has more meaning, joy, and passion. Thank you for your attention. Please contact us for more information, for a trial, for a sample report. And I wish you a lot of success with using MQ. Thank you.